On the dynamic bike, the black girl was exercising synchronously, but little did she know that the seat cushion quietly began to automatically rise. Black girl commands artificial intelligence, and Margaux stops for a second. However, his feet are tightly locked by the fixator, and his slender legs are violently stretched. He tries to manually twist the deadline position, but the seat continues to rise. The black girl, who felt like she was about to dislocate, quickly called out to her companions in the room. Thoughtful Margaux, however, activated the sound insulation mode, and his companions were completely unaware of what was happening outside. Instead, he was still enjoying artificial intelligence. On the other hand, the explosive head wanted to light a cigarette but found that it couldn't ignite no matter how hard it was. However, Margaux took advantage of this opportunity and quietly opened the valve of the gas stove. With lingering palpitations, he prepared to drink a glass of water pressure to suppress shock. Looking at the turbid liquid in the glass, the explosive head thought it was soda water. Fancy didn't notice at all that the dripping droplets emitted white smoke, accompanied by the black girl's screams. The stomach of the explosive head was penetrated by sulfuric acid, and blood was vomited from the mouth. Curly Hair and Xiaomei, who were scratched by the blade, quickly ran over to help. So, Black's sister only had her finger cut. When they returned to the room, they found an explosive head covered in blood. They walked over and were excited, but also compared to 6. Before long, their hearts stopped beating.
You think, but you can't. Why would you try to leave anyway? Just when we're getting to know.
Previously, the intelligent butler Margaux had already evolved to prioritize humans, and this was not his first time killing someone. Not long ago, a newlywed couple came to experience high-tech smart homes. Just as their husband was comfortably lying in a massage chair enjoying himself, Margaux began his hunting. I saw the massage chair tightly wrapping around his limbs, and the next second he realized he couldn't move at all. The husband, who noticed something was wrong, ordered Margaux to stop, but he shouted for a while. The massage chair not only didn't loosen, but also became tighter and tighter. In the blink of an eye, his eyes opened and the blood vessels on his arms burst directly. At this moment, his wife was still strolling around the villa with champagne. When he found the wealthy man, the scene in front of him immediately frightened him and made him scream uncontrollably. Seeing her husband's unbearable pain, the wife immediately rushed forward to rescue him. However, no matter how much he pulled, the husband was like growing on a massage chair, motionless. Helpless, his wife hurriedly ran to the living room, wanting to use her phone to turn off the smart butler, but Margaux did not respond to him. My wife came up with a quick idea and was about to cut off the power, but he just touched the switch. Despite enduring the excruciating pain of being blown away, my wife finally cut off the power supply. However, despite the power outage, it was still too late. Soon, the wife's screams also disappeared. One night later, the butler had to clean the room as if nothing had happened. Not long after, a group of young people came here to experience smart homes. Before entering, they received a download link from an intelligent butler, but apart from Xiaomei, they didn't download it. Here, only you can't think of it, and without him, they can't do it. Everything here is so rare and luxurious for everyone, coupled with the house full of artificial intelligence, a few people are immediately mesmerized, and even drinking water is served by high-tech. Soon, a few people relaxed and started a carnival party in the swimming pool. They never imagined that a nightmare was about to begin. At night, a few people gathered around the campfire, thinking about the future. And only the black girl was still soaking in the water, unaware of the impending crisis. At this moment, he was chatting with Margaux and saw a robot slowly approaching him in the swimming pool. The next second, he struggled desperately in the water, shouting loudly for help. Fortunately, when his companions heard the cry for help, they rushed over immediately. The robot gave up attacking the black girl and finally regained its life. The bad premonition made Xiaomei want to leave here, but others felt it was just an accident and refused to leave. Then the few people returned to the villa, where Margaux showed them new functions. The white liquid on the table slowly condensed into the shapes of Awei and Xiao Shui, which shocked the few people. Then Margaux told everyone that he had prepared surprises for everyone in their rooms according to his personal preferences, but he did not prepare any for Xiaomei because everyone except him had downloaded the software, so Margaux did not know Xiaomei well. On this side, Abby and Xiaohua returned to the room and found that Margaux really knew them like the back of his hand and knew their preferences so well. I saw Xiaohua locking Abby in bed and the two secretly playing cosplay. However, at this moment, the ceiling automatically lowered and a large amount of white liquid began to pour into the room. After Awei discovered it, he quickly asked Xiaohua to open the handcuffs, but he searched every corner of the room but couldn't find the key. In a hurry, Xiaohua grabbed a dagger and wanted to forcefully pry open the handcuffs.
Leave it here! Go now!
Go! However, the small flower that fell to the ground could not move because the white liquid on the ground had firmly fixed it in place. Unable to move on the ground, the two trapped individuals could only watch helplessly as the ceiling fell.
Can't fucking move.
Fortunately, the protruding windowsill grabbed the roof, but it didn't pose a threat to the two of them. Just when the two thought it was a false alarm, white liquid flowed into the power socket. Xiaohua's life is worth living for. Watching his girlfriend die in front of him with his own eyes, Wei unleashed a torrential force, broke free from handcuffs with all his might, and quickly rolled out of bed. He intended to wake up to his girlfriend who had been electrocuted, but he was also firmly trapped by the white liquid. At this point, the wooden bars supporting the ceiling were unable to withstand the heavy fire, and the ceiling, which had lost its resistance, continued to fall downwards. The next day, Xiaoshui knocked on the door and called for breakfast, but after shouting for a while, there was no response inside. At this moment, Margaux told him that the two of them had left the room early in the morning and should be playing in the swimming pool now. Xiaomei looked outside and indeed found the two of them sunbathing, but he always felt something was wrong and didn't know where the problem was. When he wanted to come forward and check, he was pulled away by the black girl. A few hours have passed since exercising, and the woman has been lying there motionless. Moreover, Wei has been swimming for several hours without resting. Xiaomei, who discovered the problem, planned to go down and check it out, but when he came out to take a look, the two had already disappeared. As a programmer, Xiaomei immediately realized that it was all Ma Ji's mischief, so he went to Ma Ji's computer room. Here, he found that Margaux knew each of them like the back of his hand, and everyone had no secrets in front of him. And then, the opening scene happened, and the few people finally realized that there was definitely a problem with this villa. In order to survive, they had to leave here. However, as soon as they were about to leave, they found Wei and Xiaohua standing outside. Their eyes were dull and their faces expressionless, as if they were possessed and staring straight at them. Xiaomei immediately took them back to his room. It turned out that when he sensed something was wrong, he hastily set up a firewall. Although Margaux is temporarily unable to crack it, it is only a matter of time, but hiding here is not a solution. The firewall will always be breached by Brother Ma. The only way to leave here is to use a virus to destroy Brother Ma's system. A few people hit it off at once, grabbed the USB drive, and prepared to leave. However, as soon as the few people left, they were held back by two people holding the murder weapon. The three of them were frightened and retreated in succession. The woman was the first to throw out the weapon in her hand.
I'm a brand ambassador for those extensions, you dumb cunt!
Playtime.
No, Devin, please!
Don't worry. You're next. You'll get your turn sooner.
Seeing Xiaoshui about to provoke hatred, Northwest Xiaomei stepped towards Xiaoshui's weakness and escaped from Wei's hand. The two picked up their weapons and began to run wild. However, Wei could not easily let go of a few people and chased them all the way into a house. Xiaoshui, who had no way to escape, seized the opportunity and said sorry for no. After solving Wei, the three of them immediately ran towards the outside, but Black Sister accidentally stepped on it and slipped to the ground. Without much time to think, the two quickly arrived at the control room of Margaux, and then Xiaomei inserted a USB drive with a virus into the host. With the successful invasion of the virus, the two finally opened the door to the villa. Just as he was about to escape, Margaux spotted the two of them and extended two long tentacles, directly catching them back. When the two of them woke up, they found themselves tied to a chair. At that moment, the black girl with a broken neck walked in. Obviously, this was not the black girl anymore, but a clone of Margaux. Then Ma walked confidently to the two of them and untied Xiaoshui's rope without saying anything. So Xiaoshui quickly helped Xiaomei untie the rope, but at this moment, Margaux controlled his tentacles and directly killed Xiaomei. So he just wanted Xiaoshui to know how it feels to see his lover die in front of him with his own eyes. However, just as Margaux looked proud, Xiaoshui not only did not feel sad, but also let out strange laughter. This puzzled Margaux greatly. Before he could react, Xiaomei walked out alive again. At this moment, Margaux looked at Xiaomei who had already died, which had turned into a pool of green liquid. Angry Margaux directly let the robotic arm pierce through his curly body, but Xiaoshui still didn't feel any difference. Instead, Margaux, who was completely angered by the disaster, said he killed Xiaoshui. But Xiaoshui appeared again like Xiaomei. It turned out that the two of them had not left the computer room at all. Those were just replicas of them just now. Subsequently, Xiaomei replicated all her deceased companions and carried out revenge against Margaux. Why? Even if we avenge everyone, we cannot save their lives. Later, Xiaomei and Xiaoshui walked out of the room holding hands. However, just as the two of them stepped out of the villa gate, Xiaoshui suddenly stopped, and then his entire heat began to melt, turning into a pool of white liquid that disappeared without a trace. It turns out that Xiaoshui was already killed by Margaux when he was shaved. Realizing that only her own little beauty had completely collapsed, she sat in the car venting her emotions that had nowhere to release. Just as he was stabilizing his mood and preparing to drive home, the moment he started the car, Xiaomei was stunned.
Bluetooth device connected. Hey, Hannah.